all the BCom subjects. So when I was doing MBA, things were relatively easier for me. So yeah, universities, they give you a choice. They give you a choice to either be a star or to fade into oblivion. The choice is yours, what you want to do.
Good morning, sir.
Mike, please.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. My name is Vikas Jain. I want to ask that, is it possible to prepare for civil service exams while working in some company? I mean, how to prepare for your civil service exams while working?
You need to be very disciplined first of all. It means you will need to have lesser time out with your friends. So I would not have much time out with my friends. I would watch a movie every week because I'm a big movie freak. I just cannot help but watch movies. Sometimes I would even watch 4 movies a week. So that was my time. I read a lot of books. So I have this Kindle with me. I keep on buying stuff on it and reading that. That helps also. I think watching movies also enlightens you in a way that no other media can do. So that has helped. I'll give you an example. I had Hindi as an optional during my class 10th exam. My Hindi is good, but since I had studied only till class 10th, I had difficulty deciding on what essay I would write. So in course B, they asked very easy Hindi. So we had an essay on Varsha Ritu, and everyone knows Varsha Ritu में बारिश होती है, बच्चे नाव चलाते हैं, मानसून से क्या होता है, but what else? You have to write 500 words. So I use that घनन घनन घिर घिराए बदरा घन घन घोर काले छाए बदरा. I remember that song. So that's how you need to combine things. When you are watching The Pianist, you would know what really happened during Holocaust. And recently I watched that X-Men movie. X-Men Origins, what was the name? I've forgotten the name. Days of the Future Past, yeah. So in that movie, they had shown Vietnam War. That is one of the topics in UPSC. So in that they showed that Vietnamese side had gone to Paris for a peace accord, which is a historical fact. It's not mentioned in the NCRT. It's not in any of the UPSC books. But UPSC picks stuff like that. In my interview last year, I was asked about Lincoln. I was fluxed because at that time, world history was not a part of the syllabus. But Abraham Lincoln, that movie had released. They had asked a question on Natalie Portman a few years ago because she had come up with that Oscar-winning movie Black Swan. They had asked a question on Swarnalata like 4-5 years ago. She was a very celebrated singer down south. She sang all the songs in the Tamil version of New Mughal e Azam, the colored version, on her own. It's a difficult thing because that song in that Qawwali in Mughal e Azam that Shamshad Begum and Lata Mangeshkar had sung, it's very difficult for one person to sing that. She had sung that. About S. Janaki, Chitra, I was asked questions. So cinema on things like these, they are very much a part of your life. So when you are preparing for civil services, do not think that you are doing a service for yourself or for the country. Do not think any of that. It also depends a lot on the kind of office you have. There are grilling offices where you're supposed to work 12 hours a day. Then it would not make a sense to make a fool out of yourself. If you think that you're financially endowed enough and if you can take up an easier job, maybe you're getting paid 70,000-80,000 in your current job, you would be happy with 40,000 also. You are ready to let go of that opportunity. You are ready to avail of that opportunity cost. So you can do that, but it will depend on the kind of job you land up with. At KPMG, the atmosphere was very chilled out. I told you I could complete my work in 3-4 hours. My bosses were very happy with me. Though I was not a bomb, but I had inclination for music. Maybe with that, they had that soft corner. So I wasn't given tough assignments. That worked. Yeah.
You had faced 2 interviews of UPSC now. So I just wanted to know from you that the person sitting on that side of the table, they had their own experiences. I had a personal experience when I was just 19 years old and the interviewer was asking that you are so young, and I was giving the interview for Institute of Mass Communication. And they said, how can you be a journalism being such a young lady and you have not faced that much in life, your parents have given something to you, offered good education and other things. That I could make out it later on that it was a stereotype that they carried, that a journalist should have suffered a lot before being a true journalist, and especially Hindi Patrikar would have suffered a lot of moving barefoot or with a sleeper in the roads so that he or she could understand the reality. Does this stereotype is there in the minds of panelists sitting in the interviews of UPSC that a person should have suffered a lot before being a true bureaucrat or before getting the chance to be selected in such services?
No, ma'am, I don't think they think anything of that sort. They try to be non-biased, but like us, they are also humans. So I would tell you an example. A friend of mine, she got 210 out of 300 in her last attempt. She got income tax. This year she has got 124 out of 275. So what does the government want to say? That in 1 year they have ruined the personality of that lady. In the personality interview they have given lesser marks. Last year I got 135, now I have got 204. So, but I'm still the same person. I do not see many changes in myself, but yes, I tried to project something I wasn't. So I just learned from that experience. But they don't give two hoots to the kind of background you have come from. They don't have preconceived notions for people from Hindi medium. For instance, I studied till 6th class in Hindi medium. One of the best schools in India, Sardar Patel Vidyalaya, they teach in Hindi medium till class 6. So they don't think all of that, but yes, they may have their biases at times. There are people whose father is an IAS officer, mother is in IFS, and that person is appearing for the first time in UPSC, and even she is cracking the exam. So he or she would not have witnessed those kind of hardships. Still, they are getting selected. So I think they don't make it a negative for you if you haven't seen hardships, but they value people who have come from the interiors of the country. They have risen through the ranks and they have done well in the life. So maybe some of the panels would have a soft corner. For instance, there's a panel right now. The lady who heads it, I cannot say her name properly. She's a Naga, and I've seen that she gives good marks to generally women, because in our country there cannot be a greater sin than to be a woman, illiterate, poor, and to belong to a minority, like to belong to a scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. You need to face a lot of hardships in life. So if she is doing that, I think that's a commendable thing. I myself as a person, I'm not opposed to reservation. I believe in affirmative action. So I'm opting for Haryana. So I'm a very stable person. I like stability. Had I opted for Agmut, which is the cadre in which Delhi also comes, I would have to go through 7 union territories, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram and Goa. I cannot see myself travelling that entire length and breadth of India. So that makes you compromise with your family life as well. And Haryana is very close to my heart, because my mom is from, after coming from Kashmir, and before that also she had lived in Haryana for quite some time. And Haryana, though it's a very prosperous state, it's a bad place for women. In some districts, the sex ratio is as poor as 500 women per 1,000 men. So they are doing very well, but I want to make these kind of changes there. But I'm not sure whether I would get it, because there are very few seats available every year in Haryana. And last year, Sheena Agarwal, the topper, she was from Haryana, but she still could not get Haryana, because that year there was only one seat for external quota, and that too for OBC. So this year, if they have one seat for external quota, for general quota, then I would go there. Otherwise, my second preference is Punjab. Punjab also has the similar blot on its face. They are importing girls from northeast now. You know, 3 people are being made to marry one single girl. Things like that are happening there. And youth especially, they are not into drugs. Everyone is taking drugs over there. Third place is Rajasthan. It's a very easy cadre to work in. There's a very less of political independence. Fourth is Agmut. And fifth, I don't know why did I fill UP. Yeah. They make you fill entire choices, 22 choices. My 6th choice is West Bengal, because I want to learn Rabindra Sangeet at some point of time in my life.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. I'm Vivek. I did my graduation from St. Xavier's College in Commerce, and I'm still preparing for UPSC. And I have opted public administration as my optional subject. I just want to know it is beneficial for me to go with that paper because at present the marks were not coming that much good in that paper.
See, the thing is, public administration is a good subject, but for quite some time there were people in the market, coaching institute walas, who had figured out, they had analyzed the paper for the last 10 years. They knew that this much would come in the exam, they were teaching that, students were only learning that. Everyone was writing similar kind of answers. So last year it happened, a friend of mine from IIT Delhi, he got only 70 marks out of 600 in per bag paper. So they have started doing this thing to public administration. If you can read the course on your own, public administration is a vast syllabus like management. So no more depending on coaching notes would help you. You have to broaden your horizons on your own. You'll have to read a lot of theories which are not there. For instance, they do not explicitly mention Mao in their syllabus. But still they have a right to ask what is the difference between public administration that was pioneered by Mao, Stalin, or what was advocated by Marx. They can ask that kind of question. They did exactly that last year and this year also. This year the best marks in PubAd I've heard is 234 out of 600, and that belongs to a guy who really is a PubAd guru. He goes through and reads from cover to cover the Journal of Indian Institute of Public Administration. But then if you cannot read that much, if you cannot study that much, I would actually advise against taking public administration. It's a difficult subject.
And so which is the beneficial paper?
How are you doing in your law paper?
Sir, I just like to study law because I think that I can do it.
So law is a very simple paper. If you want to do that, you can do that. It's not a very difficult paper. But other papers I cannot think of. You did your graduation in what? Engineering?
It's a BCom in insurance.
BCom in insurance? Okay. So the commerce paper as well, you won't be able to handle because paper 1, they ask questions of CA level. Paper 2 is all about HR, organizational behavior, that's manageable. But that is also manageable if your expression, if your writing style is good. OB is thought to be an easy subject, it really isn't. So reading only Stephen P. Robbins won't suffice. So you need to see last year papers, and if you think that public administration is your true calling, you can go for that. But I personally haven't advised any of my cousins or my younger brother to go for that.
Sharma, and I'm an engineer, and I have taken up history because I like reading it. Being an engineer, I did not pick up those engineering subjects because I thought